In this lesson, we discuss physical sky. We have a very simple scene, just this house model and a simple ground. Let me run the IPR. Up here we have this Arnold sky option. Let's click, and now we have created an Arnold sky. Under the main tab, you can define whether to use a sky or a physical sky. We use the sky option to produce image-based lighting normally, which we discussed later on in this section. Right now, let's change it to physical sky. As you can see, we have a physical sky illuminating our scene. Before going through the parameters, let's set the elevation to 10 and azimuth to 215, just to have a nicer sky for now. The first option is turbidity, which defines the amount of particles and aerosols in the sky. So as you increase this value, you are making the sky more hazy and polluted. Now, lower values will result in a cleaner sky. Let's change it back to 3. Then we have ground albedo, which controls how much light will be reflected from the planet's surface back to the atmosphere. You can define a dark or bright color here, and as you choose brighter color, you make more light rays to reflect back from the planet's surface to the atmosphere. The default color is this dark grayish color. Now I have 3 renders with this color, a black color, and a white color in the picture viewer. So this is the render with the ground albedo color set to black. This is the gray one, and finally the white one. So as we use lighter colors, we make more light rays to reflect back, and generally making the render a bit brighter. Now, let me close the picture viewer and make sure the ground albedo is set to default. The next parameter is elevation, and it controls how elevated or high the sun should be in the sky. So basically, using this parameter, you can control the time of the day, sunset, sunrise, noon. So at 90 degrees, the sun is at the zenith, and it can be considered noon. And if we lower the value to something like 5, we are very close to sunset or sunrise. Or to something like, if you increase it to something like 175, you have the same thing like when it was 5 degrees, very close. Now you can change this value from 1 to 180 degrees. Then we have azimuth, which is the angle of the sun around the horizon, and you can rotate the sun in the sky as you wish from 0 to 360 degrees using this azimuth value. Let's change the azimuth to something like 250 degrees and the elevation to 10. Also, just to make it a bit more polluted, let's increase the turbidity to about 4. Then we have sky and sun tint, which allow you to tint the sky and sun colors. Let's change the sky tint to this maybe purplish color, and the sun tint to this kind of bluish color, and you get this colorful environment. So you can use these 2 options to generate some fantasy skies like what we have here, or you can just add some subtle coloration to the sky if you wish so. Now let's change the sun and sky tint to their default values. Then there is sun size. By default it is set 2.51, which is the physically correct number. As you increase this value, you're making the sun disk bigger, and the shadows produced by the sun obviously softer and diffuser. Let's open the picture viewer and show you 2 different renders. The first one, the sun size is 0.51, and in the second one the sun size is 2. As you can see, we have a bigger sun disk and softer shadows in this one. Now if I want a cleaner render, I can increase my physical sky sample. Obviously, to do so, just select the physical sky and go to the down here. You can increase the samples from 1 to 4, and this is the render we are gonna have. And as you can see, we have down here this camera basically contribution, and if you want to actually have the physical sky effect without actually seeing the physical sky in your render, you can zero out the camera contribution of the physical sky down here using this option. Now if we render the scene with the camera sample set to 4, this is going to be the render that we are going to get. And obviously the other noise that we have in the scene is caused by diffuse samples, and we need to increase the diffuse samples to get a cleaner render there too. But this is enough for this render. Also, we have this enable sun option, and if enabled you get the sun, and if disabled you only have the sky to work with. So that is about physical sky. In the next lesson we cover image-based lighting using Arnold Sky in Arnold for Cinema 4D, so see you there.